Check ultimateguard.com and find premium quality products for your favorite trading card game. Check video description or visit Ultimate Guard for more.
Hey, how's it going, Poke fans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at one pretty cool deck that you can actually use and play in the standard form. You can even do that in the expanded format. This is pretty much one trash deck that I decided to build with the Malamar, Banette, and Gumshoos GX, of course. It's very interesting. So the strategy of this deck is basically to force your opponent to run off the resources. Speaking about resources, trying to deck him out and trying to leave him without energy cards. And basically, you can do that easily with Crushing Hammers and Enhanced Hammers and something like a Team Flare Grunt. And later, you can use the advantage of the Team Rocket Handiwork and just tries to deck out your opponent. On the other side, with the Gumshoos GX Search the Premises, we can have the once per turn look at our opponent hand. On the other side, with the Malamar, we can simply trash Tentacle for 30 and put one card from our discard pile back into our hand, which is just amazing because it can be any card. And with the Tentacling Control, you can simply switch one of your opponent's banished Pokemon with his or her active Pokemon, and that active Pokemon is going to be confused, which means if our opponent tries to attack, if he flips tails, he can't attack and he's going to take 3 damage counters. That's the biggest thing about this Tentacling Control. And on the other side, even Float Stones, if the tool Concealment and Banette will be in play, are not going to work. I know there's a plenty of cards, there's a plenty of different Pokemons that I'm actually running, and it's not that easy to set them up, especially when you run one line of the Banette, one line of the Gumshoos, and one line of the Octillery. Might be a little bit clunky, but hey, simply 60 cards, it's not that easy to put so many good cards in one deck, but trust me, I really like it, and it's pretty cool and unique to play with it. So once you know what is the strategy, you can see the Pokemons on the list. So I'm running also one copy of Oranguru for the late game, and of course we are hoping that we're not going to play against Garbodor and Tools, because none of our actual abilities will work. Of course, Garbodor is just here to break the game fun. But yeah, Oranguru is also here for the late game, basically, or for the game when you can just use the advantage to the Instruct. But probably we are never ever gonna go down to 3 cards, so you can maybe even think about discarding Oranguru and adding something else, like maybe a second Banette, or maybe something else. Because we're probably not gonna take ever prize card with this deck. We're probably just looking forward to deck out our opponent, but still, sometimes if we have maybe 1 or 2 cards in our hand and we don't have Octillery, we can always use the advantage of the Instruct. So sometimes Instruct is going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad. It will depend. Also, Gumshoos GX can maybe help us to draw some prize cards with the Gumshoos Chance GX, but that's just questionable. I mean, this deck is not built that you can attack with it. So right now you know that the deck strategy is to deck out your opponent, to discard all energies from his Pokemons, to prevent him from being able to retreat with the Float Stone. So of course, the rational explanation is also going to be to tech 2 copies of Team Aqua Secret Base, simply because we can even increase the retreat for our opponent Pokemons in play. So if our opponent Pokemon have 1 retreat cost, for example Shaman, he's going to need to have 2 energies to retreat that Shaman. If it's going to be Darkrai, then he's going to need 3 energies, and the more and more energies for more and more energy based retreat cost will be just a nightmare for our opponent to remove his Pokemon from the active position. Or on the other side, we can simply use the advantage of the Enhanced Hammers, Crushing Hammers, and Flare Grunts. So from trading cards, running 4 copies of Crushing Hammers and 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer, there are a couple cards that might actually also help us. The first is going to be Escape Rope, the second one is going to be Switch. Both switching cards, 1 of each, simply because I'm running 4 copies of Puzzle of Times, and with my Malamar, Trash Tentacle, I can take any card from my discard pile back into my hand, so it really doesn't matter how many of these cards I'm going to run, because I can always get access to them. Basically, Escape Rope can also be good because sometimes our opponent might have, I don't know, enough energies to retreat his active Pokemon, so we can just play Escape Rope before he actually did that, And before he actually managed to get, for example, third energy, we can play escape rope and force him to promote something else. If we don't have, for example, Malamar to use that entangling control. Never mind. Anyway, escape rope is a good card. Trust me, you're gonna need it. 4 copies of level balls. Simply because all of these Pokemon can be searched with the level ball except for the Gumshoos GX and Oranguru. But for the Gumshoos GX, we can always use the Timer Ball. If we get lucky, we're going to be able to take it into our hand. 4 copies of Puzzle of Time, 1 copy of Super Road, 1 Switch, 2 Timer Balls as I mentioned, 3 Trainers Mails, and 4 V-Seekers. Stadium decision was that Team Aqua Secret Base. And of course, supporter line, 1 copy of Lysander. You really don't need more than 1 Lysander simply because you can use the Malamar control attack, and 3 copies of N. 1 Olympia is also here just because we can use the V-Seeker for Olympia. We can have that switch just in case if we don't have switch card in our hand, and if our opponent somehow managed to Lysander one of our Pokemons, because we also need to pay energy retreat cost, and we really don't want to do that, especially with Banette, Gumshoos, and any other, because if we have Team Aqua Secret Base in play, we need to have 1 extra energy. 4 copies of Professor Sycamore, 1 Team Flare Grunt. In addition to that, 1 Team Rocket Handiwork, 1 copy of Teammates. After one of our Pokemon is knocked out, we can simply use Teammates and search our deck for any 2 cards. I kind of like that because we can just get 2 pieces of puzzles and grab any 2 cards from discard pile that's just broken, and of course 6 basic darkness energies. If you're looking for any of these cards, make sure to check ccgcastle.com. In my video description is a link. You can get 5% discount on your first purchase, and you can also get new sealed Garden Raising booster box, which will be available worldwide in exchange for your bulk. So if you have some of the cards that you would like to get rid of them, you can do that definitely for that Guardian Raising booster box. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so let's do this. In today's video, I'm actually gonna have a challenge. So this is gonna be a trash deck, of course, which I'm gonna use to play. And of course, I'm gonna try to beat my opponent, Mega God of War EX. Will that be possible? To be honest, I'm not sure, but I'm not expecting too much from this deck. As long as my opponent can have Stadium in play, he can have the free retreat advantage. Somehow I actually need to at least prevent my opponent from having Stadium in play. But at this moment I'm actually having a hard time fighting a basic Pokemon, which is really interesting just because I'm running pretty decent amount of the basic Pokemons. And there we go, I'm starting with a Spinda. Pretty good start, to be honest, better than Malamar. Of course, the basic evolution of the Malamar, because with Spinda, Tether Punch, you can just strike for 30 and confuse your opponent active Pokemon, which might be a huge advantage for me, just because if my opponent tries to attack and if he flip tails on the coin flip, he simply can't do too much with it. Alright, so he is starting with a Hoopa, 2 Xerneas on the bench, and there is the first Max Elixir for my opponent. And it's actually successful. So Mega Gardevoir and Garbodor discarded with the Ultra Ball. Alright. For 1 copy of Gardevoir. Overall, this is gonna be 1 copy of N. Okay, I mean, if I can find some Crushing Hammers and draw supporter with energy card, I'm not gonna complain too much. So far, no sign of any of these cards. But at least I have my copy of N in my hand, which I'm probably gonna use just because, you know, I want to have that Stadium for late game. Simply because I know that my opponent will play Stadium sooner or later. So far, he played 1 energy from his hand, 2 Max Elixirs, both of them were successful. And there we go with 1 Shaman setup. Okay, there is the first Stadium for my opponent, but I'm still not looking forward to play the Team Aqua Secret Base. Or I might should do that. Let's see. I'm gonna grab. No. I can't play my Banette. The other part is actually priced. Okay, never mind. One trainer's mail, and with the trainer's mail, I can't get pretty much nothing here. Who cares? Let's go with Sycamore for 7. Taking a gamble here, but at least I managed to find one energy card here, and I'm definitely gonna use it. So trainer's mail for something like escape probe for the next turn. Not see reason why I wouldn't do that. One crashing hammer for sure. Will it be heads? It will be. So at least I can confuse my opponent. Hoopa. Of course, I was also able maybe to not attach energy to my active spin, and then just goes with the escape probe down to the my another spinta, and maybe just forcing my opponent to promote one of his Xerneas, so I can just simply confuse him. At this moment, I decide not to do it. As you can see, my opponent also decided to attach one energy manually from his hand to his Xerneas break, and unfortunately, this Hoopa will not be able to retreat yet. I wish I can have my Banette on the bench so I can simply lock my opponent tools, which means he wouldn't be even able to Mega Evolve there. But there's an Ultra Ball for another Shaymin, and of course he desperately wants to find maybe Escape Probe or Switch, because since he attached energy from his hand, right now that Hoopa cannot retreat. And that's just perfect for me. And there is one Brock's Grid. Okay, yeah, Brock's Grid is gonna be pretty difficult to beat my opponent simply because he have Brock's Grid, and I can discard many energies from my opponent Pokemon's in play, but he can easily recover from that. And that's the big problem here. So I'm gonna play another N here. And I'm gonna get 2 Crushing Hammers. I kinda like that. So let's see how many hands we can find with the Crushing Hammers. Nope. Another one? No way. No way. Alright, I mean, gonna attach energy and just a Beazle hand for 2. I might get lucky and find maybe another Puzzle of Time here. Or just Malamar, which means that since he's already confused... Yeah, I'm gonna do this. No, I can't even retreat. Yeah, I completely forget. What a bust. I have that Team Aqua secret base that actually increase also retreat cost for 1 to my Spinda. If I was able to retreat, I would just goes with my Trash Tentacle, and I would just snatch one Crushing Hammer and put it into my hand. So there's a couple Flow Stones for my opponent. Alright. And this is gonna be like lifelink for the 8 damage counters. It's enough for the knockout, unfortunately. It's more than enough for the knockout, so I'm gonna need something good here. But for now, mainly I'm looking to somehow let's go with a Beazle hand. I might get lucky with Puzzle of Time. Not gonna happen. But what's gonna happen, it's definitely gonna be 1 copy of N here. So again, 6 new cards for me. Just the Super Road. Not good on any way. Time to use... Yeah, he can retreat for free, so... But still, I can maybe force my opponent to attach his 1 energy to his Shaymin. Or maybe better for me is to go with that Crushing Hammer. Yeah, it's interesting decision, definitely. But I think I'm just gonna grab If there is no stadium in play, no doubt I would do that, but yeah, let's just trash Tentacle, and I can at least grab one card from my discard pile, which is definitely going to be a Team Aqua Secret Base. So I can counter my opponent's Stadium for the next turn, and I can basically maybe force him to have 2 retreat cost on his Shaman, maybe even worse, to have 3 retreat cost on his Xerneas on the bench, which might be even higher, biggest problem for him, of course. So there we go with the N. I'm gonna refresh my hand for 6 new cards, but at least I know that right now I have the Aqua Secret Base, which is very important. There's another Max Elixir. Alright, let's see if he can hit one. Yes, he can. And the VS Seeker, of course. For what? Maybe Brock's Grid, maybe another copy of N. Alright, so there we go with the knockout. Unfortunately, I'm knocked out. So that's definitely very bad. But okay. VS Seeker is a top deck. It's a nice top deck. That is for sure, no doubt about that. Trainer's Mail, give me that puzzle of time, give me that puzzle of time. Nope, just a Team Aqua Secret Base. But even that is not bad. Even that is not bad. I can still have a Beazle hand for 1, but tell you one thing. Let's just end one more time before I go with that a Beazle hand. Okay, 2 piece of puzzles. Alright, at least something. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna play both piece of puzzles here, and I'm gonna grab, of course, 1 Malamar and 1 Crashing Hammer into my hand. So of course Malamar, so I can catch his Shaman from the bench. Ooh, not good. Not good. Hit the tails on the coin flip, and this is gonna be Lysander to his Shaman. But at least Shaman right now actually is confused and needs 2 energies for the retreat, or of course 1 Fairy Garden and energy attached to him so he can retreat. On the other side there is 1 energy, so I was scared about that. On the other side, definitely I need something that can help me to discard energy from his Shaman. And that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. That's simply not gonna happen. And since that's not gonna happen, let me see something. VS Seeker for Sycamore in this case is a little bit crazy, but if I Sycamore for 7, and basically if I get lucky here, I might be able to discard energy with 2 pieces of puzzles. So a Beazle hand for 2, and there's just a couple energies, but that's gonna be a VS Seeker for Professor Sycamore. Sycamore for 7. Yeah, there is Enhanced Hammer, but that's not good. Still, I can maybe just, you know, Lysander his Xerneas on the bench, which I'm probably gonna do. So let's just go for that Xerneas without Floatstone. I mean, still without chance to retreat, I can play at least my Team Flare Grant and get myself another Flare Grant, or even better, maybe another Crushing Hammer, so I can just discard more and more energies from his Pokemons in play. And there is Super Road. That's not good. So I'm definitely gonna need to start playing my oh, he's down to 14 cards, so I might get lucky and deck out him. Oh, no. There's a Fairy Garden. There is a Fairy Garden, which means my Malamar right now is going to be knocked out. But it's okay. I think this is the third, yeah, it's the third Fairy Garden, so he might not have another one in play. Down to 3 prize cards. Definitely it's time to put another stadium in play. Time to grab another Inkay. Yeah, I only have one piece of puzzle, so I'm gonna need the second one. And basically what I can do here is I'm just gonna use my... I can gamble with the Lysander. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a good decision. So for now, I'm just gonna switch again his Xerneas on the bench. Just because he needs more and more energies. And of course, I'm gonna need that top deck. What's the name of the card? I can't even tell it right now. Actually, you're flipping 2 coins, and for each coin, you're discarding two cards from the top deck of your opponent. Team Rocket Handiwork, yeah. So I'm looking for Team Rocket Handiwork if it's somehow possible. So there is another energy card, and he's confused. So he's gonna take 3 damage counters here. I'm just gonna put another Malamar in play. And for now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just risk and play my Team Rocket Handiwork. Unfortunately, only 1 heads. But right now, what I can do is I can grab 1 card from my discard pile and put it into my hand, or even better, I can maybe Lysander. He's another Xerneas, but if I do that on the break, he can knocks me out. So that's definitely not smart decision by any way. So I'm just gonna trash Tentacle here, but I'm actually gonna do it for something like a piece of puzzle, just because, you know, I have 1 more piece of puzzle left in my deck, so I might get lucky here with it. Alright, so 14 cards left from my opponent. I have VA Secret in my hand. I don't have... oh, there's another end. Alright, but I might get lucky again and pull 2 piece of puzzles right now, so I can get maybe 2 Crushing Hammers. No, there's just the 1, but I hope my opponent don't have energy in his hand. And again, he's confused. He's taking some damage counters back to him. Oh, what a nice top deck this was. No doubt about it. So 2 piece of puzzles. Time to grab 1 Crushing Hammer and something like Team Rocket Handiwork. Let's see. Come on, give me the hands on the coin flip. It's very important. No. It's a Tails. Okay, 2 V Seekers discarded. Okay, this sounds like a good idea. That's definitely sweet. I'm gonna trash Tentacle once again. This time... this time is gonna be for another Team Rocket Handiwork. I simply need to deck out my opponent as fast as possible, so he's down to 10 cards. I hope he don't have access to the energy card. If he have, and if he decide to retreat and knocks out my Malamar, oh, I don't know. This might be very crazy idea, because I have my Spinda available on the bench, ready to confuse his Gardevoir and to put him again in pretty bad position. But even worse, if the energy is going to be the top deck for me, then I probably think this is the GG for my opponent. So time to put my Spinda in the front. Or time to risk with the Malamar. 3 energies, 4, 5. Not sure if I even have energy card left. So there's a level ball. Let's find out. No sign of the energy card. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. That means only one thing. I can't use any more tails on the coin flip. Come on. Okay, at least I'm gonna confuse his Gardevoir, and that's gonna be it. 2 tails on the coin flips. That's pretty bad. If there was at least... oh, so he get confused again. Escape rope? Not worth the play it for sure. He have 2 Pokemons with the Float Stone in play. But come on. Short for the energy card here. Okay, I mean, it's still not over yet. That's for sure. I mean, he can get like a couple more tails in a row, and there's a Lysander. So he even did me a favor here with that Lysander, to be honest. Lysander down to my Malamar, and unfortunately this time it is a heads. And he's going down to 1 prize, but the game is still not lost. It's still not lost. It's definitely not lost here. So this is going to be a Lysander down to his Xerneas. And I'm just going to pass my turn. All I really need is just pass my turn, wait my opponent to see if he can somehow put 3 energies in play. Nope, he passes back. I'm gonna pass back to him. So there is 1 more V-Seeker left in my deck. There is 1 energy attached to his Xerneas, but still no sign. I still have Flare Grant. I might get lucky and top deck Flare Grant as the top deck, which is gonna be so badass. Alright. Sycamore is a top deck. That's not the top deck I was hoping for. Alright, so 5 more cards left for my opponent. I'm desperately looking for that. Either way, Team Rocket Handiwork or for the Flare Grant. But I'm going to top deck Flare Grant, which is going to give me energy advantage. So right now my opponent actually requires 2 energies. Actually energy and Stadium or any kind of the switch card. So there's another energy. And right now I might get lucky and top deck a VS Seeker for the Team Rocket Handiwork for the victory. So let's see if I can actually get victory here with my Team Rocket Handiwork. Nope. Yes, it is. So passing back to my opponent means that he's going down to 1 card. He can still maybe play that, and if he have in his hand... Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't tell me this is gonna be it. Oh, there is N. So he actually have N, and he will go down to like 1 card, and I will have still like 3 cards left, which means I'm gonna deck out because I have 6 prize cards remaining. No way. Oh, I didn't even attack with my Spinda here, but that wouldn't change things too much. Yeah, it was very close, that's for sure. Again, I have that end, but it's not going to change things too much here. Maybe if I get what I need to get, maybe a V-Seeker. No, I don't have any V-Seeker left, so... come on. So it's my turn. All I can do here is just basically draw 6 new cards, and my opponent down to 1, but still not going to change things too much. And... yeah, I'm gonna pass back. Passing back to my opponent, and he is top decking pretty much nothing. I have 2 cards left. Oh, I wish I have another Team Rocket Handiwork here, so I can just mess with my opponent's hand, but unfortunately I don't. And it's it. That's it. That's the GG. I was short for 1 energy card. With that energy, I could just grab maybe... something with my Trash Tentacle, but yeah, it was definitely interesting match to watch until the last second, but unfortunately I was short for that 1 coin flip with that Team Rocket Handiwork, so that's the GG. That's the GG, and my opponent just needs to pass the turn, and I'm just gonna run out of the resources. Come on. So, my friends, GG.